What's going on, guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So today we're going to be taking a look at more weapons and heirlooms and just other stuff from Apex that you can buy in real life. Now, little disclaimer before this video starts, obviously all of these are just like prop guns. None of these are actual real weapons, so before you think that you're going to go and rob a bank with like a plastic P2020, you're not going to be able to do that, man. I mean, these weapons do not work. That'd be a little sketch on my part if I was sending you guys links to buy real weapons. But before we start today's video, I'm just curious, if you guys could have any weapon from Apex Legends with any skin in real life, what would it be and why? For me personally, I'd probably take the Golden Spine Sentinel. I think in real life this gun would look insanely good. It has so many colors and just really good textures on the weapon itself. But yeah, guys, without further ado, let's get into today's video. So the first real weapon that I actually want to show you guys was made by Senpai3D, who is a very creative and talented like prop artist, especially when it comes to Apex Legends. She designed the Hypersonic and the Supersonic G7 Scout skin, which was the skin from the Season 6 Battle Pass. Both of these look really good, and I think that they're both almost exact replicas of what the skin actually looks like. I wasn't able to complete the battle pass last season, so I can't really compare it to the actual skin in game, but regardless, like anything on the G7 Scout would look super good just hanging up on a wall or a shelf. Personally, I really think Hypersonic looks a lot better. I really like the white on this weapon. It contrasts well with the black, and the other skin just kind of looks a little cardboardy. I'm not a huge fan of that one. Moving on, we actually have the final battle pass weapons for the R99 for this season, the Cutting Edge and the Revolutionary skin. Both of these look really good. I'm having trouble to decide which one I actually like better. Black one at first doesn't really stand out as much to me, but it does look really cool with like the neon green lines going through it. Both of these look amazing, and again, I don't actually have any of these skins in game. I'm still working on the battle pass. Hopefully I can complete it earlier than like a day before the season ends, but my track record so far suggests that I probably won't be completing the battle pass until like an hour before the season actually ends. Moving on, we have the Caustic Heirloom, again produced by Senpai3D. I mean, she has just went above and beyond to make like every single heirloom that you can possibly have in this game. This definitely looks very realistic. You can even see kind of like the lever at the bottom. It brings everything together. In terms of how it looks compared to the actual heirloom, I mean, it's almost like an exact replica. The one difference I would say is I think the color on the real life version is a little bit more yellow than what it is in game. If you look in game, it's more of kind of like a rustic brown, but nonetheless, like all of the other details on this heirloom are basically exactly the same to its real life counterpart. Now, while we're on the topic of heirlooms, I might as well show you guys the Octane butterfly knife made by 3D Print FR. This looks really good. I'm sure if anyone who is an Apex Legends fan wanted to get some real life weapon prop, it would probably be the Octane butterfly knife, just because this is pretty hard to make. Like, making a butterfly knife in general that functions is not easy, even though this is not a real butterfly knife. But compared to the actual heirloom in game, which by the way I don't have, but it looks very similar. Like, he got most of the details almost exactly the same. We have another heirloom design though from Props Fire, this one being for Bloodhound. Now, this is like a full-size replica of what it actually is in game. All of the details, including like the straps of rope on the handle, are basically perfectly matched up. You know, there is a little bit more color going on in the actual heirloom, but it's obviously hard to imitate that in like the real life version. I really do love this heirloom. This one is a little bit more expensive, but nonetheless, I think this is one of the more better designed heirlooms that I've seen so far. Now, moving back to Senpai3D, she also designed a Paradigm Shifter R99 skin. Lots of skins for the R99 because obviously it's a fan favorite SMG in Apex Legends. You know, people are going to order a lot of these kind of skins. But yeah, nonetheless, the skin looks really good. Definitely similar to the actual in-game version. What I didn't realize though is how big the magazine for the R99 is. I didn't expect it to be that big. It almost seems to be longer and wider than the handle itself. I'm not sure how accurate that is to what it looks like in game, but that's just something that I noticed like straight away. Now, this also has to be one of the more visually appealing skins that I've seen so far. Again, made by Senpai3D. This is the Longhorn Longbow skin. I remember when this came out, I was really excited to see a skin with like more textures and stuff like going on, and the real life counterpart definitely makes it just seem even better. The one thing about this weapon though is that it's absolutely massive, man. I don't know how tall this thing actually is, but compared to the girl who made it, I mean, this seems to be a very tall weapon. So that's definitely something you want to think about if you ever decide to like put it on a wall or hang it up or something like that. Now, this next thing isn't necessarily a weapon, but this is the Loba Jump Drive Bracelet designed by Darny3D. Now I'm sure looking at this, you might think that this looks kind of bland. It looks just kind of like a basic bracelet that doesn't really have a lot of details. But when you compare this to how Loba's bracelet looks like in game, he nailed a lot of the details that are on this thing. What's cool is that the bracelet has an elastic cord in it, so it functions like a real bracelet. You don't have to worry about like how big your wrist size is. So that is one very cool thing about this item, and obviously even though it's not a weapon, it's still something that I'm sure any Loba fan would want to have. Now going back to Senpai 3D, and since we're on the topic of Loba, this is Loba Staff, which is a 3D printed actual realistic model of what it looks like. And again, like this thing is just absolutely massive. I know many people are still hoping that Loba Staff becomes her heirloom. I'm not a huge fan of that idea just because the staff is already used as her ultimate, but nonetheless this real life counterpart definitely looks very cool. I could see this more being used for probably like a Loba cosplay if you ever wanted to do that. Unfortunately, this staff is just a prop. You can't throw it down and open up a portal to the area around you and then reach inside and grab a beer from the fridge or whatever tasty snacks you wanted to eat. But now that I'm thinking about it, I definitely think Elon Musk needs to invent that. And again, man, we finally have another Loba themed skin, this one being the P2020 Loba themed skin from season 5. This one is definitely very cool. There's also a video of how this works. You can take out the magazine and put it back in. I'm not sure if the trigger actually works. That's something that you can actually, press inward, but nonetheless, like the design of the skin and all of the details, especially on the head of the weapon, are just matching perfectly. So I'm a huge fan of this skin. I was a little bit disappointed when I didn't see an in real life version of Loba's dad as her heirloom, but maybe one day someone will have the guts to make something as beautiful as this. Next up, I want to show you guys another design created by 3D Print FR, and this is the Re45 from Apex, and it looks like you can even take out the magazine. So this is very similar to the P2020 weapon that I showed you guys before. But yeah, man, this is a bulky gun. Like, I didn't realize some of these smaller pistols or weapons would look so big in real life. I don't know if this guy just has tiny hands. I, for one, have massive hands, so it might look very different if I'm the one holding it. But nonetheless, the detail on this prop and just how realistic it looks to the gun itself is pretty insane, man. But next up, we don't have an actual weapon. This is something else from Apex Legends that I'm sure people would love to have. This is actually a 3D printed version of the Phoenix kit. Now, I don't know if this is like to scale. This seems way too big to actually be a Phoenix kit. But again, you can't really see the entire model when you're using it in game, so I'm not sure how close the size of these two things are in relation to each other. But one really cool thing that I'm sure you guys will enjoy about this is that this actually lights up and can be used basically as a lamp. So not only can this be used to regenerate all of your health and shields in real life, but it can also be used as a decorative way to light up your room. How convenient. Now, since we just had the Fight Night collection event and Pathfinder is still kind of like all the rage right now, I might as well show you guys the Pathfinder boxing gloves heirloom made by Senpai 3D. Now, the one thing I want to mention is that unfortunately, you can't put these boxing gloves on. They do have like a base at the bottom so you can stand them up just for show, but unfortunately you can't put them on and try to fight your friends or your teachers or your parents. Like, it's not gonna work. But yeah, man, let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of today's video. If you guys ever decide to like purchase any of these, be sure to let me know. Maybe send me a picture on Twitter. I'd love to see what some of these do actually look like once you get them. I am planning on probably getting some more of these just for my office and, kind of like pimp out my room because right now it is pretty bland. So hoping to get some of these in the future. It would be cool to do videos on unboxing some of these. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Drop a like down below if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.